Hey guys, what's going on? It is Wednesday night again, and we are live here at Squadron, coming to you from my arcade room yet again. It's good to be here tonight. I hope that everybody is doing really well and having a great day and a great week. And I look kind of sideways here. Oh, Jason says he will not make it tonight. Well, I am sure you will come back and watch later, so hey buddy, and happy birthday. Hope you're having a good one. It's my oldest's birthday today. He's 12 today, so don't we all wish we were as young as him? Happy birthday to you, Jason. Good to see you tonight, Lawn Care Novice. And David is with us here. Joseph is here. Randy, and yes, here we are again. David, the move it's going, and you have to remember that the move, and David's referring to us moving to Chattanooga, or Ringgold to be specific. It's more than just moving our warehouse. If we were just moving across town, moving the warehouse, we would probably already be done. But we, and when I say we, my entire family, myself and my wife and kids, my mom and dad, my brother Jared. Many of you have met him and talked to him on the phone now. He works with us. My sister's moving because she doesn't have anybody in town keeping her here if we all move. And then a couple of our other employees are moving as well. So we're all having to pick up, sell our homes, or find new places to rent, or whatever the case may be. And we're all moving. So when I talk about we've been moving, and perhaps you've called us the last few days and you might have got the voicemail saying, hey, we're taking stuff to Ringgold all day today. That's kind of been what I've been doing. I think it was Thursday and Friday, we took a lot of things over to our new warehouse, and more specifically, it's our new overflow warehouse. So where we're building the new warehouse, or having the new warehouse built, it's not done yet. They're still working on it, and they're hoping to have us in there this summer. But where the warehouse is, it's this industrial complex, so there's all these warehouses everywhere. Well, the landlord was building a new one for one of his current tenants that was going to move out and upgrade to a larger space. So when they moved out, we get their space. So it's small. It's like 2,500 square feet, but it's perfect for just moving overflow stuff. I mean, we've got pallets lined in there one after the other. I mean, there's no room to work, but there's plenty of room to just store stuff. So it's kind of nice. We're able to, because you've heard us talking about being so out of space here in LJ. Well, moving just stuff that we don't need to get to every day, overflow inventory or overstock inventory, extra shelves that maybe we don't need right now. So that gives us more space here just to, continue doing what we need to do for the next couple of months while we're in this transition. And then beyond that, I've been trying to get moved myself to our new house. And the idea is I'm going to move. I was supposed to already be moved, but that you know how that goes. But the idea is I'm going to move first and get my house ready, get it in order for my family to come over. But while I'm there, that'll get me in the town so I can get the logistics set up. I can get our accounts with the post office and the UPS and have the address, and just there's a lot of that kind of stuff that we've got to do, changing things over. So I'll be able to work over there. I can start receiving shipments as soon as our big warehouse gets finished. And so it's just a lot of stuff. It's a lot of work. Some of you are probably laughing at me. There's probably easier ways to do this, but you probably know me well enough now, if you've been watching my show for the past several months, that I kind of like doing everything myself. If I can do it myself, I like to save the money, and that's good for you guys, because that would eventually turn into perhaps better prices at Squadron if we can do things ourselves. And speaking of that, little teaser here. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, and I don't know exactly when it's going to start, but we did kind of a trial run taking some things over, and we're having this little contest to see who can guess the amount of truckloads it takes to move all of our stuff over. And Russ, my dad, he was giving me a hard time last Thursday because I posted that little short video on our YouTube channel talking about having taken 2 trucks over at the time I posted that video. And he said, hey, if you're going to have a contest and have people guessing how many trucks, you can't be giving these little teasers away. So there you go. We know that it took at least 2 trucks. And there were more trucks after that day, by the way. But anyway, now that we've kind of tested the waters driving the big 26-foot box trucks ourselves, granted, we're going to get some 53-foot semi-trucks too for some of the big bulk loads and things. But now that we kind of know how long it takes, employees cost money. Basically, time is money, if you understand what I'm saying. And we realize that the more we have to move, the more we have to spend to move it. So if we're going to spend X amount of dollars on moving, why not take that same amount of money that we're not going to have anymore and give you guys a discount and call it a moving sale? Sounds good to me. It's an excuse to give you guys a great price on some items. I don't know what it's going to look like yet, but now that we realize, hey, the less we have to move, the less we have to pay to move it. So I'd rather, if we're going to lose some money, I'd rather pass that through to you guys. So be watching out for that. I don't know when that's going to start. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like yet, but be on the lookout. I will tell you this, it won't be on anything that's a pre-order. We've got a heck of a lot of pre-orders going on right now, and all of this moving, transition, moving cell, all this stuff, we're going to work it around these pre-orders. We've got things, I wouldn't say most, a lot of the things that are being announced now and that we're ordering now, we've already got them routed. They're going to Ringgold. So, no luck getting the new kits on a deal. Sorry. I hope that I have a good enough price for you on some of those. And we'll get to that in a minute. I got some really cool stuff that I want to show you guys about. But seriously, though, some of the inventory that we've got in-house, we're going to figure out what we're going to sell, what we're going to put on sale, and do something for you guys. We really appreciate the business. And any of you that have been trying to call me lately, I know my brother Jared back at the shop has been really taking a lot of my phone calls for me, and some of the others as well. You may have talked to, I don't know, Jackie or whoever. But I appreciate your patience while we get everything moved, and we got a lot going on, but it's going to be good. I've been getting into WonderFest mode because I really enjoy building all sorts of model kits. You guys know that. Probably the only type of model kit that I don't really do a lot of would be maybe car models. I've done a few, but that's not usually what I'm doing. I like ships is where I started, of course, and I've grown into liking the aircraft and the armor and the figures and all this stuff. But each year when WonderFest comes around, I start getting in the mindset of figure models, because if you've gone to WonderFest or if you've heard about it, it's really figures, sci-fi monsters, like classic monsters, Dracula and Frankenstein, that sort of thing. And it's a lot of fun to me. And let's see, here's the WonderFest website. So this show, it's not IPMS, it's not AMPS, it's none of that. It's kind of its own thing. It's up in Louisville, Kentucky, the first weekend in June 1 and 2 this year. and it's just a fun time, and I'm pretty excited about it this year because if you look at the sponsor list here, this is the first year that Squadron is one of the show sponsors. So it's just a really cool show. It's a lot of fun. They've got a lot of I don't know. It's not. I'll say it this way: we, being Squadron, we're like the only vendor there that takes military models, and this is the vendor room. There's not that terribly many tables, but I mean it is a pretty big vendor room for what it is. And I think we have these 3 tables right here, 119 through 21, I think. But it's just it's a fun time. And the bad thing for me is I go to the show, and I do this at all the shows. The AMPS Nationals, I got back from it the other day or a few weeks ago, and all I wanted to do was come home and get my 35th scale Dora out and work on it, because you go to the show, you see all this armor, I want to work on it. But of course I'm moving, so that can't happen. Well, here we come up on WonderFest, and I start thinking about all the figure kits that I've got that I really want to get finished and take to the show with me, but it's just not going to happen this year because I'm moving. So I've actually been packing up my model room, and one of the I brought one little thing to show you, and I've showed you this once before, but the figure sculptor that I keep talking about from time to time, Roberto Von Bear, he did a kit, a sculpt for a good friend of mine named Randy Van Dyke, and this kit, Randy called it morale support, and it's a figure of a pinup girl, but she's not on the plane, she's actually painting the plane, and it's 1/6 scale, and I don't have the girl with me because I'm not finished with it or even close. But I've got his B-17. So this is a 1/6 scale B-17 nose, or section of the nose, and I haven't blacked out the windows yet. But my particular casting, a lot of the rivets had busted off, so I ended up going through, and this took me forever. I sanded them off, and I went through and I actually drilled all the rivets, and then I used little push pins. They came out of the craft or sewing section at Walmart. Little flathead push pins. They're not completely flat. They have a little bitty roundness to them. And then I pushed those through, and good gosh, it doesn't look like there's that many, but there's a ton of them. I can't imagine having been the guy building the real ones of these, and then to think about how many of these were built in just over a few years is just mind-blowing. But this is really cool. I've shown you this before, and I brought it up here just because, like I said, I've been packing everything up, and I saw it, and I said, I gotta show these guys where this is. This is exactly what it looked like last time I showed this to you, but what I didn't have at the time was the decal that's going on it. So this, and yes, this looks terrible because this is just a test print with a white background. I've got a way to print it correctly with the white. So that's going to go, I don't know the exact positioning, but that's going to go on there somewhere. But I've got the shoo baby, I've got the kill marks that'll go up here, and I've got all the stenciling and stuff too. But it's going to be really neat. And of course the figure stands over here, and she's holding a paintbrush, painting the nose art on. So it's really neat. He didn't make very many of these, so I was happy to be able to get one. But it's really neat. It's just something kind of cool. But it's not going to WonderFest with me. Maybe next year. I seem to say that like every year. But anyway, let me get back over here to the chat. Rex, hello to you. And Mike is here. Good to see you, buddy. And Ed, good to see you tonight, Ed Groon. I've got some cool pictures you sent me that I'm going to show off in a minute. And I've also got something you sent me that is like super cool. At least it is to me. So I'll show that off in a minute. I really appreciate it. TD is here. Good to see you, buddy. And Greg, Wes, good to see you. And you are correct. I have my ice water, and it is, I don't know if it's officially summer, but it sure feels like it outside. And David, I hope everything is all right up there after your storms. And yeah, it is warming up for sure. Howdy to you too, Mark. Good to see you. And Tom is with us again from the villages of the White Sands, as he always says. Good to see you tonight. And Stuart's got a question. Anyone out there that does 3D printing that might want to do a small order at a reasonable price? There are a lot of people that do that, Stuart. If you will send me an email at info@squadron.com, of course, I can send me an email, tell me what it is you're trying to print, and I can point you in the right direction. There's a lot of people that do that. Big companies, small companies, guys in the garage, all sorts of stuff. So I might be able to help you out with that. Good to see you tonight, John. And Carlos is here. Charles, good to see you. Good to see you, Frank. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Good to see you tonight, buddy. Yeah, ICM has a lot more B-26s that they're working on. The next one to be released will be the flak bait version. So, but they've got a lot of others beyond that, but none that they're ready to officially announce. Speaking of ICM, the B-26s, they are back in stock finally. They pretty much sold out immediately after they came in, which is not really a surprise, but we've got plenty of them back in stock now, and you can grab one of those if you missed out the first time around. It's just a really, really nice kit, so make sure to head over to squadron.com and grab one up, and we'll get it shipped out tomorrow. But there's a lot of other ICM kits that have come in that like restocks. And then here's one that I didn't realize I didn't have up for pre-order, and then today it came in, and I said, oh, so I've got it listed up today. This is their 48th scale landing mat. So last month or the month before, they had a 35th scale landing mat that they did. And a lot of people were curious, why the heck did they start with a 35th? Well, they do make 35th scale helicopters, so that's kind of made sense to them. But the 48 scale is going to be really good, and we got those in today. So if you were waiting on that, you were in luck. We can get you one tomorrow. And they've got a bunch of other new things that came in as well. But just head over to the site and check out the ICM section, and you can see what we have. I don't remember anything else off the top of my head that's new from them, but there is a lot of stuff. Let's see, Jim's here with us from Chicago tonight. Good to see you. Tom telling Jason happy birthday as well. And good to see you, Nick and Patrick. William Davis is here, watching and building at the same time. See, that is what this is supposed to be about. Once upon a time, when I first started this show, I was calling it Build and Chat. And the idea was I was going to chat with you guys while I built models. And I quickly realized that I did a lot more chatting than I did building. So, but when I get moved to my new space, whether or not I'm actually building while I'm talking and chatting, I will at least be in my model room. I've got a new room that I'm going to be setting up, that I'm going to have my streaming stuff, the computer, my workbench is going to be over here. It's going to be cool. So I'll be able to at least show you guys what I've been working on, and you know. But it's nice to know, William, that you are building. What are you building? Let us know over here in the chat. Curious to see what you got cooking over there. Keith from Texas, good to see you. Hey, Mike. Yeah, hopefully you caught that just a few minutes ago when I was talking about the move. It's going. It's slow but sure. We're doing our best. Dave, good to see you from North Carolina. And TJ's here. Fort Worth, Keith, okay. Yeah, it's hotter than that here now. Jim, I'll make sure to tell him happy birthday. He's usually watching the show, but he's out with his aunt tonight, so. Oh, man. No, I wish I was piloting a B-26. That'd be cool. Scotty, I appreciate that. It'll be a lot of hard work, but we'll get there. And prayers would be much appreciated. I do appreciate that. Hey, Jim, the DIY is a must in scale modeling. Yeah. Man, that masking on the KI-21, I haven't built one. I've got the 48 scale version. When the 72 scales came out, I opened those up and I'm looking at them like, I really don't want to mask that off. But Art Scale's got us covered on that for a mask. So if you don't want to cut it yourself, we've got that. And I'm out of a lot of the Art Scale stuff right now, but hopefully that'll change soon. They've got a lot of new stuff coming too for some of the new things that came out. Ed Groon, he's in for 27 53 footers. Well, time will tell. I hope you're wrong. I hope we don't have that much stuff, but we might. Heck, we might have more. Oh, man. Michael, 3 orders in the last 3 weeks. Well, we certainly appreciate that. Hopefully everything is good for you, and the post office or the UPS, whichever way it came, didn't do what they like to do sometimes. Ed, the Black Cat Ward. Unfortunately, I only found out about that today somehow, probably because I've been trying to move stuff and get a house ready to sell and all that. But I did find out about it today, and Ben is the guy that owns Black Cat. He's actually been on vacation. So he said he'll be back from vacation soon, and he'll be getting our next order ready to go. And from what I understand, those wards are included in our next order. So I don't know exactly when he's coming back from vacation. And considering he 3D prints everything to order, it might be a few weeks, but more to come on that soon. I got a lot of stuff added to the website today as far as new pre-orders. That one didn't quite make it, so hopefully I can get that added, if not tomorrow or Friday at the beginning of the week. So, Mike, good to see you tonight from Ohio. And David, yes, this this is actually something that I was going to mention tonight in tonight's show. Yes, Fine Scale Modeler, previously owned by Combat Publishing, has been sold to this company called Fire Crown Media. Now, I've just found out about this place, so I don't know what all they do yet, but they apparently do a lot of different things. But if you scroll way on down here to their railroads and modeling, they've got other things going on as well. I don't know too much yet about what's going on, but here's what I do know. This company that's bought Fine Scale, was it Fire? Yeah, Fire Crown. I'm still learning this. I just found this out today. Fire Crown is in Chattanooga. So I guess all the guys in the hobby industry are going to be moving to Chattanooga now, right? So Squadron in Chattanooga, and now Fine Scale Modeler. So I did make contact with them today. I have a new, we advertise in Fine Scale, and I have a new sales rep. Surprise, surprise. And it's kind of funny because a few days ago, or I guess it was last week, I got an email from my sales rep at Fine Scale, or my advertising rep, or whatever they are. And he said, "Hey, I'm no longer your rep. Here's the new guy." And I'm like, that's kind of weird. And I noticed that his email address was different. It wasn't Fire Crown. It was, I don't remember what it was, but I'm like, that's kind of weird, but whatever. And then, okay, well, now I know why. So it will be, it'll be interesting to see a lot, you know, one side of the coin says, you know, a publisher only sells something if they don't need it or it's not working, you know. But on the other side of the coin, if I were Firecrown and I were buying Fine Scale Modeler, at least initially, I would be putting everything I have into it to make sure that it's even better than it was before. So I can hope and assume that at least initially it ought to be really, really good. So we'll see. Time will tell. I have no idea. I know nothing about this company other than they now are who we are paying for advertising, apparently. So we'll see how the next few months go and see what happens with the magazine. Though, let's see, Ogden just ordered the Tacom 16th scale Panzer. Yeah, man, the Tacom stuff, it's good kits. You're going to really like it. Let's see. Ted, hiya as well, buddy. Good to see you tonight. And James coming to us from Facebook. Howdy to you too, man. Good to see you. 411 coming to us from Canada. Good to see you, buddy. Good evening to you too, Ken. Yeah, Scott, yeah, if I took my hat off, you'd see how old I am. It's not that bad, but my wife says all my hair's going bye-bye. But that's just part of it, right? Matt, yes, the X scale, we will be getting that new kit. And we should be getting all their new kits. Hopefully they'll start rolling more and more out more frequently, but that will be coming at some point soon. I don't know exactly when, though. Jim, I am also looking forward to my new workspace. Ready to get over there and get going. You know how it is if you've ever moved. Once you have a new place to go, you're done with your current place. You just want to get out of here, put it behind you, and move on to the new place. So that's kind of where we are at this point. We've got everything settled and in place over there. It's just a matter of of getting there. Oh, here's William answering us again. You are building a 350th scale USS Wainwright. Oh, okay, from a Commander Models kit, Iron Shipwrights. Very nice. Yes, I can absolutely understand your last sentence. Anytime you get into a resin kit, you just never know what you're getting into, especially when you're doing a conversion. And I'm not super familiar with the differences between the Horn and the Wainwright, but any conversion in a resin kit uh, can sometimes be a lot of fun, sarcastically, of course. But looking forward to seeing how that finishes up. Make sure to send it to me when you get done, and love to show it off here on the show for one of our show and tells. And Randy is doing another book for Osprey. Very cool. You know, Osprey is another brand of books that I really hope that we can get here at Squadron once we get moved. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of brands that we want to have, but we're just so ridiculously out of space that we can't do it. But that's going to not be the case soon. So Osprey makes some really good books, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you're writing for them, Randy. That'll be great. And Lee Leibold's with us tonight. Yeah, watch out for those tornadoes, buddy. Stay safe. And I've been seeing all of your artwork you've been popping up for sale. Remember, guys, the original Squadron Signal publications, the in-action books, the walk-around books, all that kind of stuff. Lee Leibold has the original paintings from artists like Don Greer and others. And if you've ever wanted one of those, or you might not have ever thought you wanted one because you didn't know they're available, but they are available, and it's a really cool thing to hang up in your hobby room or wherever you've got space to hang something like that. But they're one of a kind. When they're gone, they're gone. So. And Lee and I are actually working together soon to have those paintings available at Squadron.com. So if you don't know how to reach Lee, very soon you'll be able to buy those on Squadron.com. There's one each, and once it's gone, it's gone. So that'll be really cool. Let's see. Oh, that's fun. So my dad is watching the show right now, and I've got him pulled up over here on Skype, and he said, "Hey, by the way, we're under a tornado watch here too." Wonderful. I didn't know that. So there you go. If all of the sudden I disappear, just assume that I lost power, because here in the mountains in North Georgia, if you blow on a tree outside, you lose power. So there you go. If I disappear, I'll see you again next Wednesday. Next Wednesday night. Oh man, Matt. Yeah, I'm really glad that Xscale is doing some of these airlines, because obviously we all love the military aircraft, but last week, I forget the gentleman's name, but the guy that sent in all the pictures of the airliners that he had built for our show and tell. It's just really cool to see these liners built. So for Xscale to be doing these as new kits is really cool, because you just don't see that from very many manufacturers. I know Eastern Express had a lot of those, but those are not available at the moment, considering where they're made. But it'll be neat to see what Xscale does. And TJ's got, oh man, you've got it going on, buddy. The B-26 is done. The B-24 is about there. Yeah, that's cool. You got to show me pictures when you get done. I've got every one of those kits you just mentioned, but I've opened them up and looked, but really looking forward to getting into those. I haven't decided which B-26 I want to do yet. The B-24 I want to do a couple of the B-24s, but the first one I'm doing is going to be Dragon in His Tail. But I haven't really been itching to start that kit, because the decal set that I want to use is our decal set, and I have not printed them yet. It's going to be printed along with this nose art book that we are working on. But that'll be cool. Let's see. Greg says all of those magazines are Kalmbach. Yeah, Fine Scale is not the only magazine that they bought from Kalmbach. That's just the only one that we advertise in, so that's the one I'm most familiar with. But yeah, they've got the Model Railroader and a couple of others too. So I guess those all went with the deal too. All right, so Lady Neville says, looking forward to this. Let me get my site pulled back up here. So, all right, here we go. I Love Kit. We all knew this was going to happen. They did the Curtis Wilbur first as their Arleigh Burke 200 scale kit. Well, they have now, and we all knew it was coming, this Pinkney, or Pinkney. Yeah, I got to learn how to say that word. DDG 91, we'll call it that. This is going to be the second release of the Arleigh Burke class kits from I Love Kit in 200 scale. And I figured it was going to be a lot further out because of the fact that we just, got pricing and pictures and all that this week. But apparently it's being released this month. Now, that does not translate into us getting them this month necessarily, because shipping times and all that kind of stuff. That these are made over in China, in the same factory the Trumpeter is made in. So I have put summer of 24. I don't know if that means June or July. It'd be awesome if we got them by July, because then I could have them at Nationals, but I don't know if that's even possible at this point. I don't know, but I'll know more sooner than later, I think. And then the next one is going to be the Michael Murphy, which is DDG 112. Now, everybody probably wants me to answer the question, are these Flight 1, 2, 3, are they different than the Curtis Wilbur? And I have no idea. I've not done anything except put this up. I haven't looked at it. I'm not super familiar with the differences. Some of you guys can probably look at the picture and tell right off, but I've not studied it at all. I got this information about 10 minutes before I left the shop today. I threw the pictures up here, and honestly, right this second when I'm looking at it, this is probably more time than I spent at the shop putting it up. So But that is coming, and that's going to be cool. The what is it? The HS models super detail set for, they say it's for the Curtis Wilbur. These are finally done. HS models is from South Korea, and these are finally finished. I think they're South Korea, aren't they? That seems to be where all these guys are. Pontos is there, KA models is there. Pretty sure that's where they are. But this set is just super, super cool. And one of the cool things for me, I absolutely love Pontos detail sets and KA models, all those guys. The Flyhawk detail sets, all these brands, even Artwalks has a few of these super detail sets, and I love them all. But this HS models, they really up the ante, so to speak, on the presentation. This box that they're putting it in, I mean, it looks like a real model kit box. A nice black cover. The top comes off just like a model kit box. It's printed on all sides. I thought I had a picture of, oh, there we go. Yep. Yeah, here you go. So, I mean, it's printed on all sides. It's just really cool. So, but when you're spending that kind of money, you can see what we are currently pre-selling them for. You would probably expect it to be really nice, and this is super nice, like way nicer than I was expecting it to be. But you start scrolling through everything that's included on this. I mean, they are basically replacing the entire kit, less the hull and I guess some of the superstructure parts. But I mean, look at this. You're getting all new radars and weapons and just everything. Even the deck itself, they've got this overlay that's going to be included. So just a super, super nice kit. And I don't have the pictures on here, but I saw some pictures that I need to get on here, I guess. I'm pretty sure it comes with figures as well, and the figures look fantastic. So this is truly a full everything in the box set. And you know, they're just, and this is what these companies do, man. They come out with this stuff, and then the next company that does it, they've got to raise the bar. So I'm really excited to see what the future holds for the other brands that are doing this kind of thing too. There's absolutely nothing wrong with any of the brands, Pontos, KA, whoever it is. Everything in the box is really, really fancy and really, really awesome. But HS models in particular, they've kind of gone, you know, the extra mile for the box and the presentation, which to me is important. Um, you hear me talk about how many models I have that I haven't built. Well, as long as they're in a nice box, they look really cool in my model room. And if they come in a cardboard box, those probably go in the closet and they don't sit out where I can see them. But you know, something like this would be one of the few detail sets that I probably put out front to display until I get around to building it. So it's just really neat. But anyway, those are finally done. They finished them up this week, I believe, or this past weekend, and they are working on getting our shipment prepared to ship. And they tell us that it's going to be in the mail to us by the end of this week. So if that be the case, we're 1 to 2 weeks out before we get them. And of course, the pre-orders, I sent the invoices out for pre-orders today, actually. I think it was today. And as soon as they get here, I'll forward them over to you. It's going to be really awesome. I don't know. I would assume that they're going to do a version of this that would be specific for the 2 new kits in the Arleigh Burke class. I don't know. We'll see what they do. So it'll be neat. Let's see. And hey, Michael, good to see you tonight. If you were looking to do a 350th scale Missouri, you are in luck. There's a lot of good choices. They're all good. Ravel's got one that I don't have anymore, but Tamiya's got one. They've got, and it depends. Do you want to do a World War II version or the 80s and 90s? You know, the modern refit version. You can get one from Tamiya. Verifire's got a very nice. Verifier has a very nice World War II version. Trumpeter's got their new ones that are out. Just a lot of good options there. And talking about super detail sets, pretty much everybody that makes super detail sets has a set for a Missouri. But shoot me an email sometime, and I can email you back and give you all the options for that. There's tons of options there. So, and that Verifier one that I was talking, if you want to do a World War II, the Verifier one, if I were going to build one, that's probably the one I would choose. I did their 350 Montana. It very, very nice kit. Which, speaking of 350 Montanas, and I might have mentioned this last week, I don't know if I did or not, but Trumpeter has announced that they're doing a 350 scale Montana. And this is the box art for that, and it's due out sometime probably late summer, I would say. Maybe fall before we get them. I don't know exactly, but this was kind of a surprise to me, kind of out of the blue. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it. I've built a couple Montanas, and why not do another one? I really like them. And this will probably be a good excuse for us at Blue Ridge Models to do another production run of our 18-inch and 20-inch theoretical gun barrel turrets. Well, the 18-inch actually wasn't theoretical. It was based on the ones that they actually built and test fired. And the 20-inch guns are purely hypothetical. But it's fun anyway. The 18s that we did are triple gun turrets, and the 20s are dual gun turrets. But it's neat. We'll probably do another production run of those. I've had a few people asking for them, but now that there's a new Montana kit coming out, probably is a good time to do that. Let's see. Mark, the San Diego from Verifier. All right, so Verifier has recently, and when I say recently, I'm talking about the past probably 6 months to a year, has gone through some changes. And by changes, I mean the two guys that own the company split and parted ways. And one of those, when they split and parted ways, there was some arguments about who owned what. And it actually went to court in China. And it's actually still in court to some extent, I believe. But anyway, one of those two guys basically left the company. He is no longer Verifier. He is the one that owns the Atlanta class tooling. So he is also the guy that owns now Kitty Hawk and Panda. So all of these Kitty Hawk re-releases that have been coming out, that's this guy. Well, he owns the Atlanta, so that means he owns the San Diego. And he does still intend to produce it at some point, but I don't know exactly when. If I had to guess, he is not going to do anything with it until he gets legal permission to not have the other guy come after him about it. I don't know. That's, if I were him, that's what I would do. Because see, he doesn't own the Verifier brand. The other guy does. So all the Verifier stuff that we have in stock now, that we restock, the new Yamato, for example, that's the guy that still owns the Verifier brand. But the guy that left, that owns Kitty Hawk and Panda, he doesn't own anything with Verifier except a little bit of the tooling. The main thing being the Atlanta tooling. He paid for that. That is his. So he tells us that the San Diego will be released at some point, but it's not going to be branded as Verifier. There's a few options there, and we're working with him on that. And we will definitely be bringing it over here, and we will be selling it, but I don't know when, and I don't know exactly what it's going to be called yet. I've got a few ideas that I think are good ideas. He's got some ideas too, so we'll see how that goes. I can't give you a time on that yet, unfortunately. But it will happen. It's just a matter of when. And Jim likes the Osprey books too. They've got some good ones. I've got several in my collection as well, especially their railgun books. I love those. Let's see. John, I am sure the decal set that comes with that HS model detail set is super awesome. I'm really kind of hoping they'll do some decal stuff for it. But again, time will tell. Mark, if you'll email me at info@squadron.com, I can get you in touch with Lee about those paintings. Yeah, the Wilbur set from HS Models. Yeah, it's up there in price, but you know, when you really look at what's included and compare that, you know, compare apples to apples with, you know, prices of other things and other detail sets and just what that kind of stuff costs these days, you know, ignore the price for a moment. It's a really good bargain. You get a lot of stuff, and it's really going to turn that kit into an amazing piece of work. So we'll see how that goes. Hey, Terry, good to see you tonight. And yeah, Dad watches here too. Hey, Bill, good to see you. You're going to do the Hamilton Haymaker 2. All right, well, I am looking forward to seeing that. Mark, oh, you're going to do a B-29. That is cool. I've got one of those kits in my stash, and I'd love to do it one day. I'm really hoping somebody will do a new version of it, a new tool, and we'll probably see it, but that'll be awesome to see all of your bombers. You know what I really kind of wish that somebody would do, and if anybody knows of a resin one or something that's kind of low production, that maybe that's why I don't know about it, tell me. But I'd love to see a B-32. It's just kind of I've been learning a lot about it as I've been doing the research for this B-24 book that we're working on. I've learned a lot about the B-32, and it's didn't do much, but it's still very interesting. So I'd love to get a 48 scale version of one of those. There we go. The Wilbur is Flight 1. Pickney is Flight 2A. Good. Now I know. Thank you. It'll be interesting to see how they did those changes in the kit molds. Tom, I think those X scale kits, let me get them pulled up over here. Let's see. Yeah, they're all 144 scale. So the three that are out right now, this is kind of what those brand kits look like. So you see it there, and let's see, they've got this one, basically the same kit with different markings, and then their other kit's a DC-10. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's the AMP model. Yeah, AMP makes stuff too. They've got an HS-121 Trident. Yeah. So, and I forgot about AMP when I was talking about liners. So AMP does a lot of 144 scale stuff too, and and Rodin. So I guess there's when I start looking, there's more than I think about sometimes. But and all these brands, every one of those I just mentioned are from Ukraine, so they do some nice stuff. All right, let's see, what else do we have in here tonight? Model Railroad kit bashing. Okay. Well, you can do a lot of stuff with that. That's how I kind of got started in all this hobbies, was HO scale trains, or HO gauge, I guess. Building the buildings for my dad's train layout. Let's see. There we go. There's Dad. So you don't like the Panda kits? You know, I never built one. I never had one. They didn't, from the kits that I remember, they didn't have anything that was really interesting to me at the time. But it'll be interesting to see, see what they come back out with. I don't know what they're going to do. But all they've got so far that's coming in on our first shipment is just a bunch of, I mean, they're nice. I mean, I guess they are nice subjects for if this is your cup of tea, so to speak, but there's just nothing that I'm particularly interested in. But they all look interesting, but as far as how the kits go together, I couldn't tell you. But sounds like you've been there, done that, so I'll have to take a look when they get here. And Michael got the HS, the HS Price. Okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying. So you got your 350 scale Akagi, and I guess what you're saying is you bought all the goodies for it, and it added up to that price. It's not hard to do anymore. You know, you start buying this photo etch set and that photo etch set and this wood deck and those brass barrels and these 3D printed this or that, and it adds up. But the end result is always pretty awesome. Mike C. Oh yeah, Dad. Yeah, there's Mike Sabovic here from Corsair. Yeah, Corsair Armada is one of those. You know, we're talking about uh, resin model kits. Mike's been doing 700 scale resin ships for a long time, as long as I've known him. I've been knowing him for 15 or 20 years now, I guess. And uh, he does a lot of good stuff. Some of the uh, kits that just have never been done in plastic. I mean, here we go. Let's see, what do we got? Northampton's and Chicago, and this one was always a cool one to me that he did. So he's right down the road from us down in Atlanta. So if you've always heard about resin kits and you never tried one and you like 700, give Corsair Armada kits a shot. I think you'll like them. Let's see. Bill, anything from Tamiya? Well, you know, Tamiya always seems to have something up their sleeve. Um, the latest thing that I know of off the top of my head is this new 72 scale F-35B, their new version of that they're doing. But I am sure they've got some cool stuff planned. I just don't know off the top of my head other than that at the moment. Let's see. Yeah, Matt, the B-24H that has been released, and they are on their way to the U.S. right now. Well, I say we were. It's only the 8th. We're supposed to get them in May, so we'll see. I had originally said June, or if I said July, maybe I said that. I always try to pad in a few weeks. With customs, I've learned to kind of pad in a few weeks and hope to surprise everybody. But we'll see. I'm hoping to get them this month, and if it doesn't make it in May, surely it'll be here by June. But those are going to be pretty exciting. And speaking of 72 scale, that's the B-24 from Airfix is 72 scale that we're talking about. But 72 scale, this is, so we talked about the Royal Class P-51 from Eduard in 48 scale. They are doing a 72 scale Royal Class, and this particular one is a dual combo kit. So you're actually getting two P-51s in the box, and you're getting 14 different options of markings. So you'll be able to build two kits and a choice of 14 different markings out of the box, and it's going to have all sorts of goodies that you've come to expect with a Royal Class kit from them. But just like their 48 scale Royal Class kit, this is one of their super premium, or not premium, super limited kits. And the cutoff date on ordering these is like this week. And so if you want one of these, make sure to go over to our site and get those on pre-order like tonight, so we can make sure to get enough. I probably should have had this up for pre-order a little sooner, but you guys know what I've been up to, so I apologize about that. Jump in there and get a pre-order as quick as you can. And they've got some other cool stuff coming too. They got a 72 scale B-26 that they're coming out with. I guess that once a big ticket or high profile item comes out, you got to jump on that bandwagon as much as you can. And with ICM's 48 scale, why not do a 72 scale? So, and I'm trying something new with Eduard too. If you come over to the pre-order section, they've got a ton of new, I mean, every month they come out with a bunch of new accessories, but this month in particular, like everything they're coming out with is like a home run. They've got stuff for the 48 scale B-26, the 48 scale Devastator, the 48 scale B-24, the 48 scale Gannet from Airfix, the Hurricanes, all the big high profile kits that have recently come out. Eduard's got masks and photo etch sets and big ed sets and brassin sets and all their other names that they come up with for these sets. They're space sets and big sin sets. All these things for all these kits. So make sure to go over to our pre-order section. Go into the Eduard. I got 83 of them right now. And the reason that you got the Eduard logo with the knight there is because it's going to take me a few days to get all of the pictures in, but I didn't want to delay on letting you guys go ahead and get in for what you want. So forgive me for not having it. But I mean, like this one, for example, this is the cockpit and nose interior photo etch set for B-26. I mean, I'm going to get the picture on there, but you can imagine what that is. But make sure to get all those things pre-ordered, because we always buy a bunch of this stuff from Eduard, all their new releases. But this particular list of releases, I feel like, are going to be really popular. And I just want to make sure that we get enough for you guys, considering the subject matter in this month's releases. So we'll see. Mike, do I think ICM would send me just the sprues? I have no idea. They might. I mean, especially if you've bought one and you're missing it or something, they've got a really good parts replacement program. But as far as like buying sprues, kind of like Eduard does their over trees, I'm not sure. But if you want to shoot me an email, I can find out for you, or you can email them direct if it is a parts replacement kind of a thing. All right. One thing I want to show you real quick, and this is cool. So Ed Groon went out to the Commemorative Air Force Warbird weekend, and I would have loved to have gone. And they're out in Texas, and I learned a couple of cool things this weekend. Of course, with doing this B-24 book that I keep mentioning, I've learned a lot about CAF, the Commemorative Air Force, which used to be the Confederate Air Force. If you know that name, they are now the Commemorative Air Force. But they actually have one of the two B-24s that are still flying, and they call it Diamond Lil. And Ed tells me that Diamond Lil was not flying this weekend. She was having some maintenance done, and I think that it's getting some pretty big renovations done this year, actually. But he did send me this. So that's a picture of Diamond Lil, and that is a B-24A, which is kind of cool. It was, I think, I've been researching this one and reading up on it, and I'm trying to get with CAF to include some information about this plane and some pictures in our book. But it was like the 25th or 26th B-24 off of the production line, and and it never saw combat, but it had a pretty cool history, and now it flies today still. You can go ride on it. Not right now, but anyway, they also have one of the two B-29s that is still flying. They call it Fifi. So he sent me this, and of course it wasn't flying either this weekend. They were working on the engines, is what I was told. But that's really neat. And if, I talked about the IPMS Nationals this year is out in, or up in Madison, Wisconsin. Well, the week after the Nationals is when the Oshkosh big air show is going on. And it's like, from what I'm told, it's like less than a couple of hours from where we're going to be in Madison. And so Fifi is a B-29 that flies, and the other B-29 that still flies is named Doc. one of the seven dwarfs, and that's the nose art on it. And both of those B-29s are supposed to be at Oshkosh flying together this year. So we are going to try, uh, not like we don't already have enough going on this summer, but we are going to try to go over and see what's going on at Oshkosh, maybe Monday. I don't know what the flying schedule for Fifi and Doc is, but hopefully we will at least get to see them. But that was cool that Ed got to see that. And I know, so I've also met a guy out there that I like the guy so far, and I hope that we become good friends. His name is Con Conley, and he was telling me a little bit about their event out there. He's with the CAF, and he was very excited about this B-17, the Sentimental Journey, flying in and being a part of their Warbird weekend. So looks like this is Ed's picture. It looks like he got to see that as well. So that's really neat. Now, one of the other things that I found very interesting about the CAF is they've got their museum out there. And a part of their museum is something that I'm kind of ashamed to say I never knew about this, but, you know, I never knew about this. But they actually have a nose art section or museum inside their museum. And when I first heard that, I'm thinking, okay, well, that's cool. So you got some pictures of some nose art. No, they have the actual, real, original nose arts. And Ed took these pictures and sent them to me, so I'll show you what he sent me. So these are actual pieces of the original aircraft when the aircraft were all brought back over to the States, and they were out in the, you've seen the pictures of the planes lined up, hundreds of planes just lined up waiting to get scrapped. One of the guys that was in charge of scrapping these things, he kind of liked them and hated to see them all go to waste, so he got the guys to cut these sections off of the planes, and they've been in storage or excuse me, they were in storage, I think, until like the 60s, and maybe the gentleman passed away, I don't know, but at whatever point, they came out of storage and they were donated to the CAF. And since then, they have put them on display for you to come see. But I thought this was really cool because until seeing this, I had only seen pictures of this kind of artwork on these planes. So to learn that some of the originals were saved and, you know, supposedly not ever been touched up. This is exactly how they were cut off of the planes. I just thought that was really neat. You might not, but I do. So just another reason I've got to get out to see that museum at some point. Just, I don't know. And Con tells me that they've actually got more of these in storage. I guess some of the more risque ones. This museum being a family-oriented museum, they kind of put the safest ones out, so to speak. But yeah, so apparently they've even got more still in storage that, you know, that are out there. So it would just a very neat thing. Learn something new every day, or at least I do. And then you can see kind of the layout of the museum. They've just got them kind of hanging up everywhere. So just a really cool thing. And then my favorite part of this whole Warbird weekend thing was there's a guy out there that I learned about. His name is John Lucky Luckadoo. Nickname Lucky. So John Luckadoo, this guy, he is 102 years old, and he flew with the Bloody Hundredth. And he's still alive, still walking around. Like, I would not have guessed he was 102 years old, but he was there this weekend signing autographs, and I asked Ed to please say hello to him and give him my contact information. And since then, Lucky and I have made contact, and he is going to come on this show with me and do an interview. So about his time flying with the Bloody Hundredth, and here's the coolest part. Well, there's a lot of coolest parts, but one of the really cool parts to me is Lucky is from Chattanooga, Tennessee, where we're moving. So I'm like, this is meant to be. So he's not going to be on the live show with me. We're going to do an interview kind of like I did with the Mini Art and the ICM, but we were just talking today about it, and we're going to set that up sometime within the next week or so. But he wrote a book, and Ed surprised me and sent me a copy. This book is called Damn Lucky, and this is the story of John Luckadoo, written by Kevin Marr. But it's really neat. So Ed, thank you so much. He got Lucky to sign it for me. It's neat. It means a lot to me because there's not a lot of these guys left that are still able to walk around and talk and say hello and sign autographs. So, in the next few years, they're all going to be gone. So I'm very excited to read Lucky's book, very excited to have him on the show so we can hear about. I told him, I said, look, obviously I want to hear about World War II and flying with the 100th and all that. I said, but your life story is more than just World War II. I said, tell us about growing up in Chattanooga 100 years ago. There's not very many people left that can tell me how Chattanooga was 100 years ago. So it'll be very cool. Hopefully we'll get that going very soon. And again, Ed, thank you for sending that. I really do appreciate it. So let's see, Robert. Yeah, it could be as far as getting those pictures up, but until they are actually released, Eduard doesn't put the pictures on their website. And their website, for anybody that is interested, is simply eduard.com. But we'll have all those pictures up soon. I just wanted to get the products on, and the pictures will follow soon. Mark's gotten to see Fifi up close and Diamond Lil. That's awesome. The only B-24 that I've seen up close was the Witchcraft, the ones that Collins Foundation has. And there's actually the B-29 that I've seen. I don't know what it's called. I got to find out. But it was actually at the Veterans Memorial Park that was in the town that I grew up in. It's interesting. I grew up there. They had, I might have mentioned last week, crawling around on a Stuart tank, or maybe I mentioned that in the Mini Art interview. They had a Stuart tank there. They had a bunch of stuff, but they had a B-29, and I grew up seeing that all the time. Never really meant anything to me then, but now I wish I could remember it more and know more about it. So if I ever go back down there, I'll have to go check that out and pay a little bit more attention to it. Yeah, that's at Georgia Veterans State Park. Yeah, Michael got to fly on Fifi. See, I've never flown in any of them. That would be something else. When Collins Foundation brought Witchcraft, they brought their B-17 and their P-51 here to our town, our little airstrip, and that was just awesome seeing those guys land and take off. It's I don't get to see that very much around here. So seeing that was cool, which is why I'm really excited to see Oshkosh. That's going to be like it's going to be like overload for somebody like me that's never been around that very often, seeing those just a little bit here and a little bit there. Thunder over Michigan. Okay. I'll have to look that up, Mark, and see what that's all about. That sounds cool. All right, well, let's see. TJ says he sent us a picture. See if I see it real quick, and I'll pull it up. go. So that's Fifi flying over the Fort Worth Aviation Museum. Yeah, that's just really, really cool. Awesome. All right, well, guys. Oh, Ed, they've grounded all the aircraft. Well, that's, I mean, I guess at some point it's bound to happen. These things are pretty old, but that's too bad. I'm glad I got to see them fly when I did. Well, guys, I guess that's going to wrap us up for this evening. If you got any questions, just send me an email. I'm kind of hit and miss right now on the phones. If I'm there, I'd love to talk to you, and if not, I'll get with you when I can. I'm doing a lot of during the day right now for me is moving stuff, packing stuff up. In about a week or two, it's going to be a lot of getting things unpacked and settled in and whatnot. You will probably see me sitting here in my arcade next week, maybe the week after, but not too many more weeks in here. At some point, I'll probably be sitting in a chair on a laptop, but by the end of this month, hopefully I'll be set up in my new room, and we'll get it going from there. But we'll just keep making it up as we go, as I always say. Make sure to get over there, get your pre-orders put in for all this stuff. We've got so many pre-orders that we're taking reservations for right now. The balloon keeps getting bigger, but at some point in the next month to month and a half, all this stuff's going to show up, and it's going to be like Christmas in July, so to speak. So we'll see how that all goes. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here tonight. This is just always a fun time. So I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you back here next Wednesday at 9 o'clock. Y'all take it easy.